Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This Sunday, We Traveling is going to present you one exotic country, so let's enjoy these incredible destinations together. In the well-known continent of Asia is a nation that's shaped like an S or the upper half of an ostrich, depending on how you look at it. Vietnam is known for its colorful history, vibrant culture, and picturesque locations. It is one of the most visited countries in Asia and a regular tourist center. So in this video, we're going to tell you about the 10 best places to visit in Vietnam. Everything from scenic destinations to underground locations, floating markets, densely diverse cities, and everything about My Son. Let's get started. Number 10. Cat Ba Island. Vietnam is a riverine country with a host of islands. In truth, there are more than 40 islands in Vietnam, and not a lot of them are sufficiently inhabited. But within this archipelago, some islands stand out, and one of them is Cat Ba Island. Cat Ba loosely translates to mean Women Island. It's named so due to the legend of 3 dead women who washed up on its shores during the Tran dynasty. It's kinda nice of the locals to name their island after dead women, although I don't think it's a fitting name for such a beautiful place. Cat Ba has an ethereal feel in its landscape with lush fields and green forests and a very wide reach covering 260 kilometers square. It's actually the biggest island in northern Vietnam. A visit to Cat Ba Island is ultimately satisfying with a resplendent boat ride, naturalistic ambience, and a variety of wildlife to see. You can also go on climbing excursions upon the high-rise limestone cliffs of the island. Number 9. My Son. Let me introduce you to My Son. Oh, this is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. This place is actually called My Son. And okay, I'll admit it's a little funny. But all jokes aside, My Son has a very rich history. And I mean history with a capital H. It is a Cham-era temple city dating back to when the Hindus had temples in contemporary Vietnam, going as far back as the 4th century to the 13th century. Honestly speaking, you are going to love My Son, no pun intended. It's located in the Quang Nam province, specifically in the Doi Duyen district of central Vietnam. If you visit My Son, you'll get to explore the old ruins. There are about 20 temples still standing, all highlighting significant influences from ancient cultures throughout history, as well as insights as to how brutal the Vietnam War was for the locals and their important monuments. My Son is an on-site museum, one that gives you an unforgettable experience. Number 8. Phong Nha-Ke Bang National Park. I did promise you some underground locations, didn't I? Welcome to Phong Nha-Ke Bang National Park, where the fun goes below ground. It's located in the middle of a mountain, in the Quang Binh province. It is of limestone karst formation with an ecosystem that stretches and covers up to 140 kilometers of caverns and underground. And it took it up to 400 million years to evolve into what it is now, having a variety of rock types, caves, interbedded ways, and other geomorphic features. The most popular attraction is the Paradise Cave, which goes on for up to 30 kilometers underground, and there are other caves you can explore by boat. It's truly extraordinary to see that such a structure has survived this long, and it's not only the interior of the park that's worth seeing, the exterior is also a thing of beauty. In all ramifications, the Phong Nha-Ke Bang is a place worth visiting. You get to take a tour of the caves and witness the wonders of speleology. Number 7. Hue. I think it's about time we talk about Hue, the old imperial city of the Nguyen dynasty. It's one of those places that haven't really gotten the message that we are in the 21st century. It still keeps its historic facade and antiquated paraphernalia, or relics if you will, and we love it for that. Hue is rife with history inside of the town. It's got a citadel that contains the walled-off imperial city, which has the complex of monuments. And you know, when a place has a name that grand, it's bound to be great. This place has all sorts of important artifacts and even the lodgings of the then imperial family and their subjects, such as the Tai Hoa Palace, the halls of the mandarins, and the Dien Tho residence. There are other great locations outside the complex too, such as the Tomb of Tu Doc, and of course, the famous Perfume River. The list goes on. Number 6. Sapa Countryside. Perhaps we should visit the Alps of Vietnam. No better location comes to mind than the Sapa countryside, found near Vietnam's border with China on what's popularly called the Tonkinese Alps. Sapa depicts the rural setting of the Vietnamese people. It's home to deep valleys, rice fields, lush vegetation, and a wide variety of ethnic minorities such as the Red Dao, the Hmong, and the Gie. Of course, I can't forget the tallest peak in Vietnam, Phan Xipang Mountain, which stands at 3,147 meters. That's over 10,000 feet. and it's in the Sapa countryside. Activities you can do in Sapa include hiking, so you won't miss the amazing mountain views. Sapa is just like a place to really feel the full extent and diversity of Vietnamese culture. Number 5. Nha Trang. We've visited underground caves, alpine ranges, and historical cities. We even talked about Misen, but now we're going to hit the beach, which is why we're heading straight for Nha Trang. If you want to experience sandy fun and you need a little help, Nha Trang can help you with that. With excellently maintained beaches that are by the coastal waters of Nha Trang City, you will have your fill of sunbathing, enjoy beach strolling, go for a little swim in the sublime waters, and just have a good time. The beach is usually packed during the summer, and it is a time that both natives and tourists go to have some beach fun. But if you're not so into the whole beach adventure, you can explore Nha Trang City with a plethora of great locations to choose from, such as Bonagar Cham Towers, Nha Trang Pasture Institute, and the Alexandra Yersin Museum. Nha Trang is there to meet all your traveling needs, should you wish to venture. Number 4. Mekong Delta. I mentioned earlier that Vietnam is a riverine country. Mekong is a place that helps me reinforce that statement. Located in the far south of Vietnam, Mekong Delta is the region of the Mekong River where it empties up into the sea. Now, that may not sound like much, but the Vietnamese have managed to build a thriving society on the river, with actual fields and groves as well as a vibrant local settlement, and it also consists of one of my favorite discoveries in a long time, a floating market. Yes, Vietnam and a handful of Asian countries have markets or a center for the exchange of goods and services between buyer and seller right on top of a river. It's like your farmer's market, but this time it's on boats, and the Vietnamese carry out their day-to-day activities like this is a normal thing to do, which I guess to them, well, it is. The most famous floating market in Vietnam is the Kai Rang Floating Market in Mekong, and it's ever bubbling with excitement just like any regular land market. You can visit Kai Rang and Can Tho town. You can also take one of the many boat rides and visit Cam Mau Nature Reserve and the Yu Ming Mangrove. Number 3. Cu Chi Tunnels. The year was 1948 and Vietnam was at war with the French. The Vietnamese realized they didn't have cell phones and this was wartime. They needed to have communication between villages in manners that were clandestine. So the Vietnamese built a network of tunnels. The tunnel served as a tactical advantage in ambushing the French and communicating among themselves. The tunnel took almost 25 years to complete, and it extends to an area of 250 kilometers. Now the Vietnam War is long over, but the tunnel system still remains. It's called the Cu Chi Tunnels, and it's a major attraction in Vietnam. There you can visit and see the marvelous architecture and the ingenuity of the Vietnamese. Tour guides will take you to various locations in the tunnel, although I do not recommend it if you're prone to claustrophobia, because there will be points when you'll have to crawl on your hands and feet, and it tends to get hot underground. Still, it is a thrilling experience if you're up for it, and a trip to the tunnels can be intrinsically satisfying. Number 2. Ho Chi Minh City. It wouldn't be fair to have a list of places to visit in Vietnam and not include its commercial hub, Ho Chi Minh City. It's like the New York of Vietnam, except it's a lot cleaner, and the people are nicer. Ho Chi Minh is usually crowded in most parts, and there's a flood of motorbikes. Honestly, if there's one problem with Vietnam, it's the number of bikes they have. But once you get accustomed to that, the city is a lot more pleasant. There are great restaurants that serve some tasty cuisines, most of which have rice. Vietnamese love rice. They also love to drink snake wine. Don't want to get too graphic with the details, but just know that the drinks have whole snakes in them, and the wine is made from rice. For places to visit, you can visit the HCMC Museum and the Old District of Cao and Grand Notre Dame Cathedral, all great locations with historical context. And if you don't want to do any of that, you can go shopping. Ho Chi Minh is probably the best place to shop in the whole country. Number 1. Ha Long Bay. Last on the list is Ha Long Bay, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That's just the zenith of picturesque beauty. It's an area with divine connotations, the main hub of relaxation and tranquility, a surreal destination of nature's delineation. With about 1,600 cliffs of limestone, and most of them are over 200 meters tall, all standing by pristine waters that were absolutely meant for cruising. You honestly don't want to miss this if you're ever in Vietnam. The landscape is just marvelous, and it's best enjoyed when you're cruising on a boat. You can also visit the surrounding caves of Ha Long Bay. There are lots of great options available, such as the Hang Sung Sot, which has up to 3 caves. But I guarantee you won't want to do anything else but admire the unusual beauty of Ha Long Bay as you try to get the story that this great land is trying to tell. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are about these destinations, and if you'll be visiting Vietnam anytime soon. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and as always, thank you so much for watching.